Okay, so good morning. My name is Sylvain Malcriasso. I'm a PhD student at Pietrzak, and I will present you an augmented note-taking system for the classroom named UNote. This work has been done in collaboration with Pietrzak, over here, Aurélien Savard, who should be in the room, but not yet, and my PhD advisor, Eric Lecoli. So, as teachers become more fluent in digital media, they may have to orchestrate classes that rely on both physical and digital tools and media. In addition to oral explanations and writings on whiteboards, high school teachers we interviewed use presentations, videos, web pages and specialized applications during their lectures. On the other hand, pupils still use pen and paper to write their notes, and for obvious reasons, because pen and paper are cheap, easy to use, and not distractive during the lecture. However, yet, when pupils review what they wrote during the class, when they're back at home, and they're looking in their notebooks, the rich and interactive multimedia activity and experience from the classroom is lost. So we propose to use the digital pen technology to bridge the gap between these two worlds, and I'm going today to present the design of UNote, an application that aims at augmenting the pupils' notes by linking them with the documents used by the teacher in the class during the lecture. We particularly focus on the granularity of the link between these documents. For example, our system allows to link a word in the notebook to a particular slide in the slideshow. And pupils can also directly interact with digital documents and consult them along with the notes and without the notes, which is the main difference with related work, because most of the work existing about the topic provide a multimedia flux that usually is available online, and so pupils can look at this flux on the internet, but they cannot take the file like the PowerPoint presentation or the web page and browse on their own, which could be very useful. So after this introduction, let me now present our pilot study. In order to better understand how teachers and pupils use digital materials in French classrooms nowadays, we visited a high school located in inner Paris, and we focused these interviews on the use of paper and digital materials during normal classes, practical classes, and outside of the classroom. We interviewed 3 teachers with pupils from different ages, ranging from 11 to 20 years old, which correspond to secondary school and high school in France. Each teacher was interviewed separately for 1 hour. So what we learned, that we already know, but the teachers confirmed that pupils write notes on notebooks in all classes, from the beginning of secondary school till the end of high school. From the first year of secondary school to high school, teachers progressively have to teach note-taking to pupils. I don't know if it's the same thing in all countries, but in France they have to teach way to take notes to pupils. And the teacher initially writes on the whiteboard and progressively moves to dictation with keywords on whiteboards, which are different levels of note-taking. By the end of high school, pupils are supposed to take notes upon teacher's speech. Still, teachers adapt the way of speaking from one class to another. Teachers also use multimedia equipment, such as computers and beamers, but this is done more occasionally as a way to augment lectures with digital documents. And they say it's, in fact, because it's complicated to bind pupils' notes and what they share during their lesson with multimedia content. And the digital materials can be of different kinds, depending on the topic of the lesson. For instance, audio materials in language classes, and videos in history or biology classes, or interactive demonstration in mathematics or biology classes. Nevertheless, as I said, these materials are often not available to pupils after the lecture, as they can hardly be printed. For example, for interactive application of videos, it's complicated to print that type of files, and your teachers cannot really distribute every type of files. Alternatives consist in sending documents using online teaching portals or email to the students. But this did not appear to be a widespread practice. Some teachers put their material on the website, but it's the same. It's not as much frequent as in university, high school teachers are not so comfortable with website right now, so we have to provide something that can help them to share this type of files. The main observation from our interviews is that paper transcripts are still the main medium used when pupils work, even on computers. And we observed, for example, a case where pupils had to perform an exercise on a digital spreadsheet, but they would have eventually to report results on how they solved the problem on paper, on physical paper. And an interesting point here is that not only paper makes it easier for the teacher to go through the pupil's work, but it also makes it possible to the teacher to annotate the pupil's results and work, to comment and advise them. Besides exchanging classwork and homeworks with pupils, teachers frequently distribute printouts to complement the teaching book. Paper widespread use in classroom also comes from the sharing ease it provides. And because paper is relatively inexpensive and copy facilities already exist in high school, paper documents can be reproduced quickly and distributed extensively. And in addition, because most pupils use a notebook, teachers are almost sure that the pupils will keep the printouts inside the book, or they will have them. They will have the printout with them. And the ease of combining heterogeneous materials makes paper a good candidate for editing and putting together final versions of documents. So pupils use notebook to attach paper, but even when teachers distribute something like a map in geography class, they can paste it on their notebook. So notebook seems to be really something that both teachers and pupils rely on. The use of paper has been well summarized by one of the teachers. Notebook is a default media, and it is the only one that allows to hope that pupils will have their materials from one class to the next one, and they feel rested to write in their notebook. So these interviews led us to these implications. The navigation is centered around the pupils' notes, and their notebook remains the main source of information. The link must be as specific as possible. Scholar documents are full of information, and as I say, the pupil must be able to locate easily the piece of information he is searching for, and he must be able to browse the document. Pupils that misunderstand the lecture may want to read them again at will and take a little bit longer to read and assimilate the idea. So now I will introduce the U-Note system. In this section I present the functionalities of the U-Note system, an augmented note-taking system based on annotated digital pen and paper technology that I will not explain because I think anyone knows how it works, but we chose this technology for obvious reasons, like the fact that it's more natural to use this technology because pupils can write on the page and come back after and just edit something, and they don't have to clip a USB key or something on top of the page before to write, so it's more natural and easy to use in that kind of context. So the classroom is the main capture location. While the teacher gives his lectures, pupils take notes on their notebooks. In the end, the teacher gives information through speech, writing on the whiteboard, and digital documents. Using a paper notebook is important for at least two reasons. Writing helps to remember and assimilate the information, and moreover, using paper instead of computer prevents from distraction during the lecture. While his lecture, the teacher may project several digital files that illustrate his lessons. He also could comment these digital files and write extra information on the interactive whiteboard. The UTeach module, which is the module of U-Note which is used in the classroom, is a module installed on the teacher's computer, and it captures the information related to events occurring during the class.